Aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese Case Stories. Cases judged by Gong. Today, I'm going to bring you two short stories. The first story is called Ferry Terminal. In a remote village in Jianzhou, there lived a poor man named Shulong with his aging mother. They struggled to make ends meet every day, barely having enough to eat. Shulong's younger brother, Shuqing, worked as a laborer to support their mother. However, Shulong, not as physically strong as his brother, couldn't contribute much to the family. His mother, seeing him idle most of the time, constantly berated him, causing him deep shame. One day, Shulong decided decisively to venture into business in Yunnan with his good friend Fengren. They spent over a decade there, eventually achieving great success in their endeavors. With substantial profits in hand, Shulong returned to his hometown. Upon reaching the ferry port, he encountered Zhang Jia, the ferryman from his past, waiting for customers on the shore. Seeing Shulong, Zhang Jia grinned and asked, "Shulong, you've been away from home for so many years. You must have made quite a fortune, haven't you?" At that moment, Shulong, burdened by the weighty silver coins on his back, was exhausted. He replied modestly, "Though I have managed to save some money, it's not that much." With that, he tossed his umbrella and bundle into the boat, causing a loud thud as they hit the deck. Sensing that Shulong had returned from afar with a considerable sum of silver stashed in his bundle and with no companions around, Zhang Jia suddenly entertained wicked thoughts. As night fell and the surroundings emptied, he seized the opportunity to viciously strike Shulong with an oar, sending him plunging into the water to his apparent demise. Zhang Jia then secretly hid away the stolen silver, thus embarking on a life of wealth and luxury, even acquiring a new house and land as a result. Zhang Jia had a son named Zhang Yu. When Zhang Yu was 7 years old, Zhang Jia hired a teacher to educate his son. The teacher often praised Zhang Yu, saying he was skilled in writing poetry and creating couplets. However, Zhang Jia was somewhat skeptical. One year, during the Dragon Boat Festival, Zhang Jia invited the teacher to celebrate together. During the feast, Zhang Jia proposed a challenge to the teacher, saying, "Sir, you often praise my son for his skill in creating couplets. Today happens to be the Dragon Boat Festival. Why not give him a try with a festive theme?" The teacher replied, "Your son is indeed talented. Creating couplets should not be difficult for him." Subsequently, the teacher spontaneously composed the first line. "Yellow threads bind the rice dumplings, offering tribute to the souls of loyal ministers on the Miluo River." Zhang Yu pondered for a moment but couldn't come up with a response. Zhang Jia was disappointed, and the teacher felt somewhat embarrassed. Feeling embarrassed, Zhang Yu pretended to need to use the restroom. Little did he know, at that moment, the spirit of Shulong appeared as an old man near the restroom. The old man smiled and asked Zhang Yu why he seemed upset. Zhang Yu explained that his father had challenged him with a couplet, but he couldn't respond, which left him feeling ashamed. The spirit asked. What's so difficult about this couplet? Zhang Yu repeated the given line. The teacher's first line is, yellow threads bind the rice dumplings, offering tribute to the souls of loyal ministers on the Miluo River. The spirit chuckled and said, this couplet isn't difficult. Let me give you the matching line. Zhang Yu was delighted and eagerly awaited the response. The spirit then recited. Bamboo poles carry the parcels, conspiring against the distant guest at the ferry crossing. Zhang Yu found it quite satisfying and happily ran back to inform the teacher of his response. The teacher remarked, while you may have provided the matching line, the language lacks elegance. However, Zhang Jia suspected foul play and pressured his son to confess the truth about the elderly man providing the response. Concerned, Zhang Jia rushed to the restroom to investigate, but found no one there. Suspicious, he confessed everything to the teacher, not realizing that his nephew Zhang Ben had overheard their conversation. Zhang Ben, who held a grudge against Zhang Jia due to a previous land dispute, wasted no time in reporting everything to the county magistrate. The magistrate promptly sent 5 capable officers to arrest Zhang Jia and conduct an interrogation. Zhang Jia appeared pale and bewildered before the magistrate. With compelling evidence, the magistrate discovered the truth about Zhang Jia's plot against Xulong. Zhang Jia, unable to endure the torture, confessed to the crime and was subsequently sentenced to imprisonment. The following day, the magistrate reported the incident to his superiors, and the higher authorities, led by Gong, conducted further investigations. Eventually, Zhang Jia's assets were confiscated, and his wife, upon learning of the situation, fled overnight, choosing not to pursue the matter further. The second story is called Stolen Shoes. In the eastern part of Jiangzhou City stood the Water Tranquility Temple, where a monk named Wu Yuanqing resided, known for being a Casanova. Within Jiangzhou City lived a wealthy man named Zhang Dehua, who married Han Lanying, the daughter of Han Yingsu from the southern part of the city. Unable to bear children, Zhang Dehua and his wife were distressed. To seek blessings, they regularly donated money to build temples on the Buddha's birthday and invited monks to their home for chanting on the first day of each month. Wu Yuanqing once visited Zhang Dehua's house for chanting and couldn't help but be enchanted by the beauty of Han Lanying, arousing impure thoughts. One night, while Zhang Dehua was away, Wu Yuanqing visited their home under the pretext of begging for alms. He bribed Han Lanying's maid, Xiao Mei, and asked her to steal Han Lanying's sleeping shoes. Xiao Mei followed his instructions and secretly handed the shoes to Wu Yuanqing. Delighted, he returned to the temple, where he spent the entire day lamenting over the shoes. The next day, when Zhang Dehua visited the temple to discuss chanting ceremonies, Wu Yuanqing secretly threw one of the shoes at the temple gate. Picking up the shoe, Zhang Dehua grew suspicious. After their conversation, he returned home in a rage, thoroughly inspecting his wife's shoes and confirming one pair missing. Outraged, Zhang Dehua sent Han Lanying back to her parents' home, resigned from his official position. Learning of his failed scheme, Wu Yuanqing secretly fled to the western plains of the city, changing his name to Feng Ren and abandoning his monkhood for 2 more years. Meanwhile, Han Ningsu decided to remarry his daughter Lanying, prompting Feng Ren to seek help from his neighbor Wang Qin to propose to Han's family. With Wang Qin's help, the marriage was arranged, and Feng Ren married Lanying with full ceremony. As time flew by, the Mid-Autumn Festival arrived, with bright moonlight illuminating the streets as drums and music filled the air, creating a festive atmosphere. Feng Ren and Lanying, husband and wife, sat together in a pavilion, enjoying their drinks and conversation. Feng Ren, drunk and elated, exclaimed, "Thanks to Xiaomei's help in the past, I am able to enjoy the happiness of today." Hearing this, Lanying grew suspicious and, prompted by alcohol, Feng Ren explained the whole story. Lanying, filled with anger, couldn't utter a word. She realized that all her sufferings were due to Feng Ren's scheming, and she grew to despise him deeply. As the banquet ended, Feng Ren fell into a deep sleep, and at midnight, Lanying, overwhelmed with grief and indignation, hung herself. The next day, upon learning of the tragedy, Han Ningsu prepared to seek justice for his daughter. Coincidentally, he encountered Judge Bao inspecting Jiangzhou City. Han Ningsu wrote a petition, stating that his daughter Lanying was wrongfully driven to suicide due to malicious schemes. He recounted how Lanying, married to the wealthy Zhang Dehua, was falsely accused by the wicked monk Wu Yuanqing, who bribed a maid to steal Lanying's shoes, leading Zhang Dehua to suspect her of infidelity and drive her away. Han Ningsu pleaded for Bao Gong's intervention to bring justice to his family. However, Feng Ren also feigned innocence and complained to Bao Gong that Han Ningsu's accusations were baseless. Unable to discern the truth, Bao Gong ordered both parties to be detained. That night, while sitting in the hall, Bao Gong was visited by a dark spirit. He questioned the spirit, which turned out to be Lanying, who detailed her grievances before disappearing. The following day, Bao Gong ordered Zhang Long and Shui Ba, 2 constables, to bring Han Ningsu and Feng Ren for interrogation. Feng Ren, terrified, confessed everything before facing punishment. Bao Gong then sentenced Feng Ren to death and confiscated his property, thus vindicating Lanying's wrongful death and bringing solace to all. Alright. Today's case stories, Ferry Terminal and Stolen Shoes, conclude here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments and share with others. See you again in the next issue.